Hello, friends. Welcome to Akul Bank Live. There was a T20 World Cup match between India and Pakistan. In fact, this is a legendary match, just like UK and Australia has Ashes. India Pakistan is always, it's like a do or die type of a match. And obviously, India lost in this match after a gap of 13 victories. So it is just a game. Everybody enjoyed. Everyone has their favorites. However, the events which took place after the match for almost 48 hours were very disturbing. It's about weaponizing social media using bots to bully a Muslim player in Indian team. And we basically discuss about this in our show today. And to discuss this further and provide, more perspective, I will be joined by my friend, Mr. Gaunt from UK. So let's welcome him. Hello, Neville. How are you doing today morning? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. And yes, there's always a great side to social media, isn't there? Especially in the game of cricket. You know, it's a fabulous game, but it's only a game. And the good side about social media is we can hear things really quickly. We can get information literally on our iPhones when it goes beep, 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 beep. And I have to be honest, I was watching the game on the TV and my social media feeds were just going absolutely bonkers. So I just had to turn them off and just listen to the game and watch the game because it was it was a joy to watch, really. I mean, both teams going at it, you know, as we have a phrase in the UK, hammer and tong. They were both really giving it their best. And guess what? One team beat the other one. I mean, that's the whole point of the game, isn't it, CK? But the downside, the real sad side to this is that we've seen now the worst of social media. And what we're here to do today is to make people aware that bots are controlling your actions. Now, if you don't know what a bot is, I suggest you look it up because these are automated, almost like catastrophic events of the web. They pick up on a thread and they hammer it home, a bit like indoctrination. Now, whether that thread is right or wrong, these bots don't care, frankly. They just pick up the information and they spread it around all of their other bot friends because a bot has a friend and it's called another bot. And then they've got more friends, which is more bots. And they've got more friends, which are more bots. There's no real person in here, apart from perhaps the person that's instigating the initial conversation. So, CK, I've seen some really horrific bot messages that have come out. And frankly, I'm appalled that the platforms have allowed this to happen. What do you think?
Well, Neville, I really feel disgusted. In fact, I have never interfered in what was going on. I was not interested. Like you, I actually switched off my social media because this was too much. In fact, for first 24 hours, Mohammed Shami, who is a well-known cricketer in Indian team, he was trolled, and it looked like that the Indians were trolling him because he was the main culprit, as if he was the main culprit for losing the match. Well, most of the Indians know this is a match, and in fact, everybody, even Pakistani, knows it's a match. It is not a war, so it's just a match. And one team will lose, one will win, as you mentioned, and the better team win this time. And Indian skipper hugged the Pakistani skipper, and he, in fact, in his interview, he said that, we didn't play as well as Pakistanis, and that's why they win. However, there was a malicious activity going on, and there was some trigger going on. So I will take another 2 minutes to explain this. You see, one of the players actually sat down soon after defeating India on the field itself, on the pitch, and he performed namaz. And back home in Pakistan, a lot of people actually came out with these trolls saying that this is a victory of Islam over Kafirs. And there were tweets that came out like that. So, we as a world, we are divided between left and right. There are ideologies on both sides. So after an hour, Mohammed Shami, who is a Muslim cricketer in India, he was trolled very badly. In fact, the trolls went up to the extent of asking proof to show whether he is a Muslim or not. So that, and surprisingly, after 24 hours, many Indian players also came out and requested, hey, please stop, because first 24 hours, we were thinking the Indians were trolling. And some investigation was done after that, and it was found that it is the bots. So bot is it's a sort of a program which replicates itself. These are the bots in and around the area of Islamabad who were creating these trolls, and then they were using their global presence to amplify these trolls. So for 24 hours, they were amplifying, and after 24 hours, it became bad publicity on India that look, how India has become intolerant. And then it was picked up by all the social media, major publications, it was published. But now we have been told that it was a bot army. You see, as you mentioned that, we have to be very careful what is right, what is wrong. I think as individuals, we have to know, something is going wrong, we should not be party to it. And in fact, there are many things happened. I will update you, but after your comments.
Well, CK, you're absolutely right. Let's get to the bottom of this first. It was a game of cricket, and as you quite rightly said, Kohli hugged the Pakistani captain as well. I mean, these guys, they're just ordinary people doing extraordinary things on the field of cricket. And what we've now got is social media platforms that are taking over our world. And I really want to talk about resilience here, because this is about personal resilience. This is about individuals' resilience to what's happening. Listen, I'm the first person that can get passionate when I'm watching my team. Whether I'm watching my team on the TV or I'm actually physically in the ground watching my team. And my team could be soccer, could be football. I'm a great Leeds United supporter. I was born in Leeds. No team is better than my team. Well, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? Because they don't win every week. So there are other teams that are better. But I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm incredibly passionate about my team. But at the same time, I'm also pretty smart when I look at social media. Because just like any team in the world, whether it's a national team or a local team, they've all got their own social media presence. Equally, all the fans have also got their social media presence as well. I mean, I'm on Facebook and I see probably I think somewhere in the region of 5 Leeds United supporters clubs, Facebook pages, and I see vitriolic statements when we win, and the opposite to vitriolic, which I can't comment on social media, when we lose. It's always someone's fault. They didn't play well. The managers lost the plot. Frankly, emotions take over. But this is where we as individuals have got to now control the internet. And we control the internet by controlling our emotions. It's really as simple as that. As I say, I'm one of the most passionate people around when I get into a sports arena. In many respects, I'm even happier when I don't support either team. I really want the best team to win. And when it came to Pakistan and India, I was indifferent, really. I mean, this is T20. This is the World Cup. I want the best team to beat everybody else, and the one in the final beat the other team and deserve it. I mean, that's the whole point of sport. But what I don't want is my words in my ears being manipulated by these bots, by nasty, narcissistic individuals that take over the web and therefore take over our minds. And what we've got to all be doing is be resilient to it. We've actually got to take a step back and saying, is this a real person? Do I really want to follow them? Why are they on my feed? You know, this isn't what I want to hear. You know, I want to hear some good stuff. And you've got the power in your hands. Swipe left, swipe right, delete. And the more people that do that, the less these bots are going to have control of our life. I'm equally passionate about sharing good information, CK, as you well know. But these bots, quite frankly, are worse than trolls. I don't know where they come from, but they come from people, and that's the worst thing. They come from people that have written so-called clever AI algorithms, and unfortunately, they're dictating what we do in the world rather than we dictate what happens in the world. Rant over, CK, over to you.
Well, I think it was an orchestrated activity. In fact, just half an hour after the match, one of the minister who was in the government of Pakistan came out on their television, and he actually gave a speech, about 5-minute speech. And in fact, if you have not watched that speech, you should. He says, "This is my final. This is my country's final. We have defeated India. Even if we lose this tournament, it's fine." And you know, this was the first match of the tournament, and he said this is Islamic victory over rest of the world. So he made it Islamic, and then after that these bots took over and created a bad publicity, and they found a soft target in Indian team, a player, a well-known player, very smart player who happened to be a Muslim. Well, what religion got to do with cricket, a game of cricket, a global tournament like World Cup? But these bots made it, and this was a handiwork of 1 or 2 companies in and around Islamabad, because most of these accounts which are used by these bots are 1 day old. So investigation of 24 hours showed that these are created with hardly any followers, like 10 followers, and so this bot army was created to troll and create a narrative, and then made it Islamic and anti-Islamic and so on, and then utilize the fault line to carry out some political agenda. A game of cricket is being used so badly, and as you said, my mind is being misused. This is going on. I think we need some regulation around it, because today it is happening to such popular people, globally acclaimed people, for no reason. And the best part is Mohammed Shami kept quiet in all of this, because they kept hitting him below the belt, but he did not utter a word. A lot of people in Pakistan came in his support. A lot of veteran cricketers, well-known cricketers, they said, "Hey, please stop doing that." They were publicly insulted on television channels and thrown out. You know, that is the level of controversy here in this case, and conspiracy. So I think, I think we have to be very vigilant. And now in the new world, new time, our kids are also getting exposed to the internet. I think this is very serious. I think in the World Cup, it happened in UK, where a couple of footballers were trolled very badly. Now it has happened in India and Pakistan. Same things, very dangerous. It can create a civil unrest. Whole lot of things can happen here. It can trigger a war. So I think we need to give that message very clearly for the sake of our kids.
You are absolutely right, CK. And the interesting thing about activity on the web is that these bots thrive on activity, and in many respects, the only way to stop these bots acting is to say nothing, because they've got no fuel. They're all written on very clever algorithms. So if you don't respond, they've got no fuel to take together, shake it around, and send it out again in a different format. But you've raised the point about today. it's about manipulation of our mind. And there's a lot of people out there that believe what's said on the internet, you know, is true because it's written. It looks like computer printout. And for everybody out there, what we need to do is stop responding. We need to start thinking first. And this is the first step of resilience. Become aware of what's happening. Are you getting overpassionate about someone that's not real, that's spreading malicious rumor, that's just feeding into your inner heartstrings? Now, only you're going to know that. And as you rightly say, CK, it happened in the European Cup. We had, you know, well-known British, English footballers that were trolled because they missed penalties. We didn't do very well in a particular game. It was down to these particular individuals. And it was absolutely disgraceful. This is the 21st century. We're supposed to be a union of countries that work together for the better of the planet. That means that for the better of other people too, by the way. It's not just the environment around us. People are a big part of that environment. And young people, particularly those that are in school or, you know, up to teenage age, are highly influential over what's going on. I mean, we hear this all the time. The biggest problem I hear from head teachers in the UK is bullying in schools. And we're not talking about physical bullying. We're talking about mental bullying. And previously, before the invention of these wonderful things that we have here, these have really revolutionized what we can do. But they've also got the antithesis, because they've revolutionized all the nasty things that might be happening out there. And bullying has become cyberbullying. Whereas, you know, there is one way to stop bullying, and that's break the cycle. So when I was in school, and if there was any bullying going on, I would go home, and guess what? The bullying stopped. I didn't have an iPhone. I didn't have an internet connection. It was a long, long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, a very long time ago. The only thing you had was a telephone, and not everyone had a telephone. It was too expensive. And as a result of that, bullying stopped. However, when your child or grandchild goes home, that bullying continues because the majority of these young kids have got smartphones. So what we need now is a concerted effort to educate young people in the world of bullying, in the world of cyber behavior, social media behavior. And if we don't get it right now, in 10 years' time, we won't have bots doing this. We'll have people doing it, and more people doing it. So we need to crack this once and for all. Yes, we need to hold the platforms to account. They're the ones that can stop these bots. As you said, CK, most of these have got 0 followers. They're raised overnight. How they've managed to raise them and get around security in all of these platforms is beyond me. Because frankly, when I set up a new account, I've got to have an email. I've got to have a personality. I've got this and that and the other. For some reason, these bots are getting around it. So we need to block those loopholes. We need the platforms to get out there and really stop these things happening. Nip them in the bud. Because we don't want to fuel bad information. We want to share good information. We want to have a bit of fun around the world and enjoy what's going on. We're only here for a short period of time. Let's enjoy it. Again, this is a bit of a rant today, CK, and I apologize, everybody, if you feel it's a rant, but I do feel very passionate about this, is that if we build our inner resilience to it, we will stop the rot that's happening out there. It won't completely stop it because there's always going to be a fanatic that gets out there, but we can see the fanatics. The fanatics actually are real people. They want you to see them. We've seen it in the UK now where people, this there's a new group in the UK that are actually stopping traffic on motorways, on highways, in busy streets, and they're called Insulate UK, and they're trying to make a point about the government's not doing enough about insulating homes in the UK. However, what these people are doing are turning public opinion against them. But you can see these people, they sit down in front of traffic, they wear big yellow jackets, they got huge signs, and they're there to make to make their opinion count. I have no problem with what they say. I have a lot of problem with what they're doing, because they're actually stopping people getting to work, stopping nurses and doctors doing their jobs, stopping ambulances getting through heavily populated traffic jams. So look at that in one respect, and look at what these bots are doing in another. And we've got to be resilient to it all. I mean, it's not easy. This is not easy. I'm 62 years old, and even I get caught sometimes in the cyber world. So you just got to be careful. But to be careful, what you've got to do is think. Before you engage in a discussion, just think, where's this come from? Do I know this person? Do I trust this person? Just because it's come from your best friend, it doesn't mean to say it's trustworthy, because they may just have shared it with you to say, oh, have a look at this. And they've not really looked at it themselves. And that's how you get your PCs locked. And it costs a fortune to unlock them, because these cyber trolls are out there to make a nuisance of themselves, and they're out there to make you unhappy. I haven't seen a bot, actually. It's a funny one, CK. Have you ever seen a bot that makes you feel happy? I mean, really happy.
Well, bots cannot be seen, and as you mentioned that how bots are actually creating accounts. Actually, what is happening is that the bot does not require any account. It will use the account to amplify the message for which they are designed, and the accounts are connected to influential people who will then forward it, and that's how it spreads. So bot will keep doing it again and again, reply to a few, and then the few will give it to larger entity and then amplifies. However, as you mentioned correctly, I think the Indian government within 24 hours identify what is going on. They stopped it. There are now, obviously there are left side and the right side. So there are a few bad apples here also who participated in this bullying. So Indian government has taken action on those people, punitive action. The law is catching up to them. There are few people who are already behind bars within 48 hours, and there are others which will go to behind bar, to go to jail. So I think this action is going on, and I think this is high time that other governments must learn. And if we don't stop it, as you said, it will continue to grow. It will break our society completely. It will bring the world on the brink of war, or maybe initiate Third World War. We never know. So I think this is the right time to stop this nonsense. This is what I feel, Neville.
You're absolutely right, CK. And as you say, simpler things have been said to cause a war. I don't think we're pouring fuel on a fire here, but what we need to be doing is just be personally aware. If you've got a social media presence, just be personally aware. Think about what you're sharing, why you're sharing it. A lot of people, because it comes from their best friend, they'll just go and like it. And in Twitter land, they'll retweet it. And in Facebook, they'll put it on their share without thinking. Well, now's the time to take control of the internet. And we only take control of the internet by thinking what we're doing. And it's an automatic behavior that we've done in the past. Perhaps we just need to take a step back and think about what that automatic behavior is doing. We've all got a social presence. I'm not perfect. I don't get it right every time, but I do my best. So all we can ask for is people to do their best. And let's push these bots and trolls into the place where they should be. perhaps we put them all on a mission to Mars. As we know, that's a one-way ticket currently, so good luck.
Thank you, Neville, for coming over and clarifying these important issues. I think what I gather from listening to you is that I think all of us must have positive attitude, because without having positive attitude, all these nonsense will start behaving and misbehaving with our mind, and we will take wrong actions. So when you say that we have to know exactly, I think the positive attitude is the solution for it. So thank you so much, Level, for joining us today in the show, and we will catch you in the next one.